I'm Spencer.
And I'm Spencer. Oh, God.
And this is The Itch. And we're here to talk about the Dead or Alive controversy.
Soft ban.
Soft ban? Tell me about it. What's going on? What's
That's
the deal?
the shit I don't... Okay, we'll get to it. So, Dead or Alive, for those who don't know, which I'm sure everyone at this point does know, the game is a fighting game that does have a bit of a certain flair to it. That flair being on the more sexual side. Where, I mean, okay, if you've already seen the review, you know what I think about the game. The game, regardless of what you may think about it, is a solid fighter. At the end of the day, it's a great fighting game. I enjoy it. He would enjoy it if he ever joined my share play games. He would enjoy it if he joined my share play games. It's a fun game, okay? At the end of the day. However, a few tournament organizers have ruled that, hey, you know what? This game is sexist. The game that we all play is in some way, shape, or form. Well, they describe it as actually over-sexualized. So, whatever. So I'm not going to twist their words. They said over-sexualized. It's over-sexualized in that it depicts certain like costumes as being a little too... being a little too sexualized, it affects the community, affects other people's outlook on the players that play the game.
Okay.
Okay, so they've ruled what's called a soft ban. A soft ban, as opposed to just a straight-up plain ban, is something where it's up to the tournament organizer if they want to ban certain costumes. They want to go, hey, you know what? No, we're not allowing this costume, or these sets of costumes, or whatever. Okay, it's up to the tournament organizer.
Now, who's doing all this?
Who's doing all this? According to, well, one article I got, I believe the guy's name is Hoobs, whatever, H-U-B-B-S. But the article, one of the articles I just got done looking at right now, you know, to get me more worked up for this shit,
Sweating.
Has flat out said, Hubs and other prominent members in the fighting game community, which cannot be mentioned, which raises question. I mean, it was Kotaku, so hey, secrets out. Was like, you know, hey, you know, all the like it's a majority opinion, really isn't. And the reason for them imposing this soft ban is they feel that people will take the game more seriously when there is not a sexualized concept to the game. Okay, and of course, I have a lot to say about that, but so does Spencer apparently, because he's not. He's not my friend right now. We're enemies.
So look at it. Why don't we be frenemies? Isn't that a thing?
Yeah.
So the way I see it is, yeah, maybe it's kind of nobody likes censorship. Censorship is bad. If the game creators wanted an overly sexualized experience with really enticing costumes that show a lot of skin,
and maybe add a little bit of physics to that game as well.
Just a touch of physics.
Just a touch.
And underboob.
Lots of underboob, man. Wow.
Focus.
But with all that, if that's what they wanted, then maybe that's what we should give it. But to play devil's advocate here, trying play devil's advocate. What if this opens up? What if these people open this up to the world to say, wow, this game really is great. We look past all the physics because we don't see it, and now we see this game just for the game that it is. Wow, it's got really great mechanics. It's got all that good stuff, and no controversy yet. Maybe they bring in that stuff later when the game is actually the biggest fighting game in the world.
And I have a rebuttal for that. There's a absolutely big problem with that. You can't say, oh, now that we took out all the parts, the sexualized parts of the game, now we can see the game for what it is. Because you should be focusing on that in the first place. As people who are fans of...
As fighting game fans, I'm sure they would do that. But as people like me who see it, all I see...
Well, you have me. I'll tell you it's a great game.
Oh.
But I see where you're coming from. I get what you're saying. But honestly, if you want to look at something from the face value of what it is, that is the essence of judging a book by its cover. And for anyone who goes, like, and I see this on comments all the time where people will be like, Dead or Alive's not a good fighting game. Like, all it's about is just TNA. And I don't pay attention because I know you haven't actually played the game. You don't know what's actually going on here. And that's bad because the game is offered for free. So that's even bigger deal.
Well, the unfortunate part is that people do look at things that way.
Yes.
And so maybe these people from this forum or whatever it is they're doing this from,
Free yeah.
Maybe they're doing it because they know that unfortunately people look at it that way, and they want to give it a shot to prove itself that it can actually hang with all the other fighters in a serious way. And then they can say, well, now that we've proven the haters wrong,
Okay.
now that we've done that, now we can bring in the cool skins that we like.
Well, I have to say, first of all, none of these people have any idea. They don't work for Team Ninja at all. Okay? Tecmo Koei, they don't work for them. So the first thing I have to say is it's not your responsibility to control how a game is viewed. You may be a community leader, but you chose to be that. Okay? Oftentimes, a lot of these people are not getting paid for this stuff. Tournament organizers, I can say for a fact, definitely don't receive a lot of credit for organizing these things. It's rough. Okay? So by saying that, oh, this is how we're going to do this, you're trying to take responsibility for something that you didn't even help create. It's not your responsibility. It's not something that you should even try to get involved with. It's not your say at the end of the day. Furthermore, who's to say that this is to even work? You can't just undo the years. Dead or Alive's been out for a minute. Dead or Alive's been out since the 90s. Okay, late 90s. I want to say 99. 99, 98, if I remember correctly. You can't just put a ban on costumes, soft ban, granted, and expect it to just undo what the game is actually about. And I love how they fail to mention two things. Other games that do it, okay, I mean, let's be honest, Street Fighter, who's a good example? Poison, Chun-Li, they didn't really sexualize Makoto. Cammy, okay, I know you know Cammy. She's in the leotard. She's the girl.
Okay.
Yeah. Whose wind pose turns her around. You know? And the other thing that they failed to notice is the fact that, I forgot my point. My point is this, okay? You can't take out something that's a part of the game and expect it to change everything about the game. Let's look at Mortal Kombat. Take out fatalities. What are you left with? A fighter, sure. But that's a part of the game. That's what makes it different. Okay? And if it just so happens that the game is sexualized, let it be sexualized. I don't play as characters. I don't play as the skimpiest costumes. Okay? I don't play in bikini costumes. I play 3 female characters in that game. And I don't play as their skimpiest costumes. I play as the costumes that I think look the coolest. You know? And that's really what it should be left to, is the player's decision. It's not going to change the input of what people think. Okay? And now I remember my point. Where's the male costume changes? There are male skimpy costumes. Did you know that? There's male swimsuit costumes that they did not even care to notice. It is technically sexualized, even in the male sense. But that is not noted on there at all. It is only female costumes. And I've looked at, I have the list of the costumes that are banned, and I've looked at it. There's obviously no mention of male costumes, but also some of those are even put on there that are just like slightly skimpy. And that raises another question. How are you supposed to determine? Who are you to determine this one makes the cut, this one doesn't? And that's my point is this: it's poorly presented. It's something that should have been left up to the community as a whole instead of, hey, we're the community leaders. This is what we believe, or us in this community that you don't really know about think this is the best idea because we organize tournaments. It's not your say. And I hope going into Evo, because it's hosted by Team Ninja, the tournament at Evo, I'm gonna wear the skimpiest fucking costumes. I don't play chicks. I don't give a fuck. Because at the end of the day, it's my choice how I want to play it. The game offers it. I should be able to choose it. Okay? There are plenty of games in here that have breast physics, that have, skimpier costumes. Soul Calibur, no one even points that out. Tekken, no one points that out. Okay? Street Fighter has them. Marvel had a few of them. Morgan, come on. That stuff doesn't get pointed out. But you're going to point out, oh, we feel like this is going to put the game in a positive light. No, it's not. The game's going to be the same either way. It doesn't matter. It's a solid fighter. It should be left as a solid fighter. It shouldn't be surrounded by controversy about people that are trying, in their opinion, to desexualize the game because they think it's going to make the game look better. It is just conjecture on your part. There's no way to say one way's better than the other. I have more to say, but I'm just responding to what you're saying.
Gotcha.
But it's just, I guess that's why, like, when I saw this story happen, I sent them a text and I was like, ooh, So I'm just like, this is malarkey, in my eyes.
And I was like, Dead or Alive, is that the game with the boob?
Exactly. It's going to be that game, not because of its latest iteration. It's going to be that game because its entire history because Itagaki thought it was a good idea to put out 2 volleyball games where in one where there is a private dance scene where you do dance where the girls dance around poles.
Oh wow!
It's not the
They went
fault
all the
of
way
Dead or
with
Alive. Yeah. So, and the biggest thing, and actually, someone posted this on the internet, and I wish I knew this individual's name because he just hit it so hard. It is a barrier between 2 different cultures. In Japan, they're more accepting of sexual behavior because they understand that's going to happen. More so than we are here in America, you know, founded based off of Christianity and all those other things. We're more conservative in that manner. Where we're like, oh, well, we don't want to consider we don't want to consider, you know, this stuff. Oh, it's too sexualized. Well, honestly, it's not your call to try to cross a gap, a culture gap between a different country that the parent country that made it. It's just your job to play the game. You don't govern. You should not be allowed to govern this. I want to hear what Team Ninja has to say. I want them to say something about it. I want them to be like, hey, you know what? It's our tournament at Evo. We're controlling the pot, and guess what? We're fucking doing whatever we want. Everyone who wears bikinis gets $5. You know
that guy with the bad acne. He's not in charge of Team
Itagaki. No, he's not. He's left. Gone. He left before 5 came out. Dead or Alive 5. He didn't want to do another one because he's like, oh, we're at the pinnacle with Dead or Alive 4. Some people, like my brother, would argue that Dead or Alive 4 was the best, but I've had way more people consistently tell me Dead or Alive 5 has brought more to the competitive fighting scene in Dead or Alive than any of the other iterations. Mm-hmm. So I'm happy about it. I mean, there's not really much you can say about it. But the point that I'm trying to get across is this. At the end of the day, it is not the responsibility of someone who isn't really qualified to understand, at least he hasn't shown, him or his associates, him, her, whoever, associates have not shown to be capable or to have the qualifications necessary to show that this change is actually going to do something. Imposing a soft ban to tournament organizers about something that you think is right or wrong is, 1, not the answer to solving a problem, but 2, isn't even the right step, in my opinion. If anything, you should be telling people to focus more on, all right, this is what the game's actually about. Yeah, okay, fine, bikinis, but focus, you know? Anyone who can't focus on 3D TNA, you got a problem.
Is this being televised somewhere?
Yes, it's on Twitch. That's the thing. But people want to complain and go, oh, well, you know, I don't want my daughter or whoever to see this. The same thing can be said about any of the costumes on on sexualized costumes on Street Fighter, on Tekken, on on Soul Calibur, or things like Mortal Kombat. Okay, Mortal Kombat is super sexualized too, and they have fatalities with that.
I guess the only safe game here is Super Smash Bros.
No, man, Zero Suit Samus.
Well, to your point, if they don't want their kid to see this content, they wouldn't be at a tournament anyways because they don't have the game to be able to be good enough to compete. So they're not going to be there to see this stuff.
Yeah. So, I mean, if they're watching it from Twitch, at that point, it becomes a matter of whose responsibility is it? Is it the parents' responsibility? In my opinion, yes. To monitor their child, make sure they're not doing stuff like, or going onto a forum, or going onto a stream. Because I can tell you, it probably happens at League of Legends tournaments too. There's a lot of cursing. The spectators and everybody is fucking cursing. Sorry, I just cursed. There's a lot of people cursing, going, "Yeah, you hit him with the 4P. Oh fuck, you got him." So it doesn't matter. There's so many things. There's more than just the sexual appeal that's there. Okay, and to be perfectly honest with you, the credibility of the people who imposed this rule came into question for me when I checked other forums within Free Step Dodge, and guess what they're talking about? Oh, new costume available, and guess what? It's the sexy costumes. So to be perfectly honest with you, I wouldn't take them seriously at all. But that's just my opinion. The fuck do I know?
Well, I guess we'll see what happens down at the Evo tournament. When is it?
I forgot the actual date. It's in July.
In July?
Yes.
Be there.
Or be circular, like the camera.
Because you're going to be there.
I will.
You're going to compete.
I will compete. In
the skimpiest costume you can find.
Hell yeah. Akira's going to be looking mad good. Those squats are going to show off, you know what I'm saying?
There you go. I'm Spencer.
And I'm fucking mad!
And this is The Itch. Thanks for watching. Make sure you...
What?
Like,
Comment.
Maybe you should comment on something.
Yeah.
Maybe you subscribe. Hit that red button that says subscribe on it.
Now we produce new videos.
Every week! We also stream on Twitch at This Is The Itch. So check us out. Thanks for watching.
Oh, yeah, 'cause I was-